Hello coding owls, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk in depth about java.nio. Now java.nio is actually the new java.io. I am going to cover up the basic operations like how do you create a directory, how do you create a file, how do you read from a file, how do you write to a file, how do you rename, how do you append to a file. And so basically this video is going to be about those who are migrating from java.io to java.nio, and I'm going to cover up everything here with live examples. So let's begin. Now before we begin with this, all the classes and the interfaces required to work with java.nio are in package java.nio. And we are going to specifically work with java.nio.file package, which contains class by name path, paths and files. So let's begin with the first one. Path actually represents the path which is to your actual file or a directory in any format. Yeah. And paths is help to load the file, or it returns me a path using the string or a URI. So to fetch a path object, you need to say path p is equal to paths.get, and you need to pass the path, and you will get the file. Once we get the object of path, we can pass that object of path to the methods of files and get whatever operation we want done. So in simple codes, you can see on the screen now how exactly it's look like. If I want to create a folder or a directory, this is how it looks like. Okay. Now going ahead, there are various operations in the files you can see on the screen right now. I've got create directory, I have got create file, I have got delete, I have got copy, list, then we have got move. If you want to get the details, whether the file is executable, is it hidden, readable, does it exist, what is the size. And now reading and writing is very easy here. Now we have got a read method called as read all lines, which returns a list of strings, so very easy to manipulate later on. And while writing again, we have got write either using the byte array, or you also have a method for read all bytes, which will return you an array of bytes. And the same way we have got for writing, we have got again two options. Either you can pass an array of bytes, or you can pass a list of string, basically any iterable of char sequence, which is any collection of string, and it will just write it into the class. So let's begin with the very first example. What I'm going to do is going to start with a create directory example. So I have just created the boilerplate code. Now as discussed, first thing what we need to do is paths, path p is equal to paths.get. So I'm going to store this file in a folder by name java.nio. So I want to create a new folder here, let's say containing data set. Yeah. So obviously this won't be available, and what next I'm going to do now here is once you have created the path, next is you can just go and say if files dot exists. Yeah, if files dot exist, I don't want to pass any option here, so I have got the option of p. So I'll do what? I'll just say system.out.println directory already exists. Else what we can do next is path done path is equal to files dot create directory of the same path which we were checking out, and yes, system.out.println directory created at done path dot toString, and I'll just put up a catch block, exception e dot print stack trace, and yes, so my file is completed. I'll just start my terminal here. Java C create directory.java, Java space create directory. So it says create directory is created. So if I go and now check out here in java.nio, it has got a folder. You can see it was just created, and this is how we create a folder. Now if I try to run this code again, let's see what happens. Because the directory is already available, if I just try to run it again, it says directory already exists. So this is how you go and create a directory using java.nio code. Very simple step. Next, we will understand how to create a file. So now as my directory is created, I'm going to go for create file. So how am I going to create a file? It's a bit different thing, not a lot of difference, a simple difference. So path p is equal to paths.get. I hope you guys are very much clear with what I'm doing here. And I'm going to say data set slash and poem.txt. Let's say I want to create a file by name poem.txt, and then I'm going to say if files dot exist of p. So if it exists, what I'm going to say, file already exists, I don't want to create it. So system.out.println, you can just pass the override options. So file already exists. Else what I'm going to do now, here is path done path is equal to files dot create file, and I'll pass the object of p. And yes, so now system.out.println file is created, location is nothing but here, done path dot toString. So cool, I have written the other codes. And now, so once this is done, let us now try to compile java c create file dot java space create file. So the file is created at dataset dot hyphen poem. So if I go here inside dataset, I have got poem.txt. Now you can see that my file is being created. I am going to open this and paste some text inside it. So just data about some Humpty Dumpty, and I'll keep it here for now. So this is how you basically create a file using java.nio. Next, now we are going to concentrate on how to read the data from this file. So here is my boilerplate code again, and what I'm going to do now is, because I want to read from the file, I'll just say path p is equal to paths.get, and I'll just say data set slash poem.txt. And now see, the way it reads here is very awesome. You can see I'll say list of string. I'll need to import java.io, java.util. So I'll just say import java.util.star, and my list of string data is equal to files.read all lines, and I'll just pass the path. I'll do what? Run a for each loop and just say string s colon data, and I'll just print s. So all the lines about my file will be printed here. So let me quickly just try to compile this. Java C read from file.java, java space read from file, and now you can see all the data. Can you see? No opening up the buffered reader, just a single line, and all the data is with me in split seconds. It's very fast and it's very awesome. So now the next thing what we are trying to do is going to be write into a file. Now writing into a file can come into two ways. Either you can write it using the byte format. So what I'm going to do first, path p is equal to paths dot get, and let's say data set slash new file 1 dot txt. And here, what first thing, I know this file is not already there. You can put up some validations. So path, what you can say, done path 1 is equal to files dot create file, and I'll just pass the object of p here. So this will first create a file for me. Now I have the path for it, and now what I'm going to do, I'll just say string content is equal to hey coding owls, Next, files dot write. So I have the path of done path 1 and I want the bytes now. So for when I want the bytes, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just say content dot get bytes. So it will do what, convert it into an array, and this way if everything goes right, it will write the data into the file. So data written as byte array. I'll just save it, start the terminal, and java c write to file, java space write to file. So data written, let's see if it has created a file by name. Okay, first thing was, oh sorry, I just closed the folder. So data set, you can see new file 1 and hey coding owls. So this is how we basically write using the content. Yeah. And next we'll try to do what? Now the next thing what I'm going to try is I'm going to try and load the data from the previously written file and put the data into the code. So I'll say path. Okay, so let's say p2 is equal to paths dot get, and I'll say data set slash new file 2.txt. and next what I'm going to do here is path done path 2 is equal to files dot create file p2. So my file is done here, and now what I'm going to do, I'll use the code from my previous example. So I'll just take these files from here, 2 lines, which will give me the list of the already written. So let me just change this to p3 because p was already used, and now I have the data. I have the data all in my object of data, so I just need to write it. So files dot write p2, sorry, done part 2, comma, I want to write the data. So when I do this, when I want to write the data, and when I'm doing in this pattern, system.out.println data written in file using list of string. So I hope this part is clear to you all now, and I'll quickly start the terminal. Say new terminal, java c write to file.java, java space write to file. Okay, so it says file already exists for, okay, when I try to create this old file, how about I comment this line, because this we have already seen how it works. So this part, let me quickly comment it. Okay, and now we'll try it again. Java space write to file, and data is written. See how quick it did that. And now you have got the second file, which is basically the copy pasted code. So this is how you write the data inside a file using java.nio. And now the next thing what we want to do is, let's copy the file from one location to another. So for that, what we'll do is, so the next thing we are going to do is very exciting, guys. Now try understand what I'm to do here and see the power of java.nio. Here I have got a file which is around 806 MB. Now when you try to copy paste a file this big, let's see what happens. I'm going to do what, I'm going to move this file from some this folder inside the dataset folder. So let's write the code. What I'll do first is path source is equal to paths dot get, and the file is some file dot zip, which is roughly around 800 MB. And now next I'm going to do what, path destination is equal to paths dot get dataset slash pasted dot zip. So it will give me the option that it got pasted here. And what is the data, how will you copy it? So you'll just say copy source and the destination. So this is how you basically copy paste. And now I want to show you that the logs. So what I'll do is I'll just say system.out.println started colon plus new date. So it will give me also the second at when it started, and system.out.println here I'll just say completed colon plus new date. So I'll get when it started and when it ended, and I'll understand how much time it required to do the whole process. So done with this. Now I'll do what? Start the terminal, java c copy file.java. Let's see how it works. Java c copy file, enter. See, it started and it ended. So you can see it started at 21:33:27 seconds and it ended in 3 seconds. Let's see, the file has been pasted here. You can see the file is being basically pasted here in my folder, and this is basically the power of java.nio. You can see 800 MB file just shifted like that. If I want to make a change here and just want to shift the file from there, I need to do what? Okay, how about I rename this file save as, and say copy and move file.java, and I'll show you another option now, copy and move file. And instead of saying just copy, how about I move it? So I've got, and I'll just do what? Pasted 1.zip. So you'll see that how it got changed. I'll just use the same terminal, java c copy and move file.java. Java says copy and move file. Done. See, literally in a second. Yeah, literally in a second you can see pasted 1 is here, and from here the file is being shifted. So this is how you shift a file from existing folder and you have brought it into this current folder. And yeah, one thing I just wanted to cover up, if you have got a file, we have done this write to file, right? Write to file.java file, and here you can see I'm just going to copy paste this code now. I just want to copy this code, the first part what I have done, and I'll change it to append to file now. When I say append to file, what is happening here is, I'll just take off this comments. So the file was already created there. I'm going to point to it now, and rather than creating it, I'll just point to it. So I've got the file P, I've got hey coding owls, and I'll just say P here. Let me take this with the new file 1, which is already there, and I'll change the code now. I'll say www.codewith, I'll say www.codewithz.com, and yeah, so by default it doesn't come up with the option of, quickly save it. So catch exception e dot print stack trace, and then method end, class end, and here I have already my file, right? I'll show you the file first. So if you go and check new file 1.txt, it says hey coding owls. Okay, so I'll go back to my file, and now here I'm going to do what? I'm going to run this with an expectation that this will basically, this line will go as a next line now. But will that happen? No. The reason being, it will override. So let me show you what is the problem first. Java space append to file, and it says data is being written. So if you go back to the file and if you check, so the previous code is gone and you have got the new code. So if you want to append, yeah, whatever you write, you want it to append. Let's say later on, whenever you want to write a log file, and as and when the logs are created, you want to append to the file, you have to pass a here another option, that is nothing but the standard open option dot append. So once you do this, what will happen? Whatever you write, so I'm going to do what? I'm going to run this code. once, twice, thrice. Okay, I'll do what for int I is equal to 0, I is less than equal to 10, I plus plus, and every time I'm going to take the content, say plus line number, and I'll say I. Okay, so what will this do now? It will try to write this line for 10 times, and if I take out this append option, what will happen? It will only write this line for one time, which will be the last time. So java c append to file.java, and now if I say java append to file, what will happen? Let's see. Let's go and check back in the file. So go here, file text. Okay, so there was a line code missing, but you can see it as written. I'll show you how to just put up that line code as well. So you can just say files dot write p comma content dot this I'll just say system dot get property. I'll say line dot separator. I normally make mistake in the spelling of separator, and dot get bytes. So it will do what? It will do that same option, and then I'll do what? Standard open option dot append. Save it. Okay, so I'm not going to now delete the old content from there. Let's see how it make the difference. So this is java space append to file, data is written, and let's go and check here now. Okay, so previous code was written like this, and the new code, it started, and see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So I hope you have understood this part about java.nio, and you can find all this content available on my blog codewithz.com. So I'm going to paste link for each one of them, each code in the description box. I hope this video was helpful for you to get a kickstart in java.nio. Do subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching this video.